LTU Sports Report is brought to you by the City of Southfield, the center of it all, and Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor.
Hi everybody, I'm your host, Jason Ross Jr. Welcome into another edition of the LTU Sports Report. Hope you are having a wonderful afternoon. We have a jam-packed show coming your way. We'll have a coach's interview, we'll have a get-to-know-you segment, we'll have men's and women's lacrosse highlights. But let's get the ball rolling with our strength and conditioning head coach, Brian Whiting, in this week's conditioning segment.
All right, today I got a body weight, lower body finisher for you to do on leg day, which if you're smart, you would never skip. You're gonna do an iso squat hold for 60 seconds, followed immediately by 20 squats, then followed by 10 lunges each leg. Do that 3 times with minimal rest in between.
We know that being a student athlete takes plenty of dedication and commitment. We had a fun chat with Alec Wiecherkowski to find out a bit more about what he likes to do outside of playing baseball.
My name's Alec Wiecherkowski. I'm on the baseball team at Lawrence Tech, and I'm a business major. My favorite activity during quarantine would definitely have to be video games. Perfect. Just play Madden and a bunch of other games with friends. My favorite show to binge watch, there's been a lot of them, but right now I'd have to say The Office. It's just always been one of my favorite shows. My favorite superhero would definitely have to be SPIDERMAN. Just grew up watching it. It's always been my favorite character. Favorite musical artist? I have a lot of them, but right now I'd have to say DaBaby for sure. Just love the music. Favorite animal? Definitely a dog. Classic, good old dog. Great house animal. One thing I'd like to cross off my bucket list would be skydiving. I mean, it's always something I wanted to do. It's just you don't have a lot of opportunities to do that. My dream car would be a Ferrari 458. It's just always been, I think it's the most beautiful car. Just always been the car I liked. My favorite boy band to join would be Maroon 5. Adam Levine's always been my taste in music sometimes, so I feel like it would just be a really fun group.
Now let's take a look back at the 2019-20 men's lacrosse season. Now we get to hear from our own Sarah Davis in this week's Coaches segment.
Hey LTU Sports Report, Sarah Davis here with the men's and women's head coach, Scott Marzolino. For those of you who may not know, I'm also part of the women's golf team, and Coach Scott is actually my head coach. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining me here today.
Thanks, Sarah. Glad to be here. Looking forward to our talk.
So to kick things off, how did COVID impact the men and women's spring golf season?
Well, I think everyone's aware COVID-19 became very prevalent in the month of March. So at the time, we were actually on our spring trip. We had the entire men's and women's golf team and coaching staff down in Alabama. At the end of that week, we were hosting a tournament. I recall we had about 120 golfers participating in that tournament. And As the week continued on, as we approached that tournament, there were several schools indicating that they may need to leave, they may not be able to show up. Fortunately, we were able to finish the tournament. Soon thereafter, our season was canceled. We had no additional tournaments, 2 of which we were going to host. And then, of course, we didn't have a championship in April, which was disappointing, but it's the world we're in at the moment. And, we're glad everybody got through that safely.
Definitely. And so moving forward with all of the new regulations in the state of Michigan, how is COVID going to affect the upcoming fall season?
Well, we've had numerous meetings over the summer with our administration and as well as the athletic director. And, there's been a ton of effort behind the scenes. Again, planning to get everybody back on campus and to do so safely under the new restrictions that exist. So, we had a meeting just the other day. We are planning to have everybody back on campus the weekend just before school starts. And, there'll be just new restrictions. The NAI restricted any participation in tournaments before September 5th. In response to that, what we've done is we've decided to host 2 men's and women's tournaments locally. Both will be one-day events, so schools can travel in and out of the same day. It'll be a great opportunity for us to show off our home course where the women practice over at Farmington Hills Golf Club. And we're also going to host another one over at Washtenaw Golf Club in Ypsilanti. We're certainly trying to make lemonade out of lemon.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. We're making the best out of what we got. So on a little bit of a happier note, what are the recruits looking like on the men's side?
So this year we have 4 new recruits coming in on the men's side. We have Bruno Vicente, who's going to join us from Portugal. Luis Pacheco, who's going to join from Mexico. We have Sam Militello, who's from Michigan, attended Utica Eisenhower. And then Anthony Zeitler is also from Michigan, and he joins us from Midland Dow High School. So we are extremely excited about this recruiting class on the men's side. All 4 of these guys have the potential to crack the top 5 at any point in time. So I'm looking forward to a very competitive fall on the men's side. And I think most importantly, and in addition, including the one person that's going to join the women's team this year, I'm extremely excited about the caliber of people that we're bringing in. All of these people are just great people of character. They're all very strong in the classroom and will be outstanding representatives of Lordstown.
Great. And so you mentioned one person coming in on the women's side. Could you tell me a little bit about her?
So Maddie Warlow, she's attends Pinckney High School, and she's going to join us, and we'll bring our roster to 9 on the women's side. And again, Maddie will absolutely have the opportunity to crack the top 5 and continue our journey to improve our team. So I'm excited to have her join. She's a great young lady, and really enjoyed the recruiting process with her and her dad. Just going to be a really, really nice add to the team.
Looking forward to it. And a little positive encouragement to end on from Coach Scott Marzolino.
I would encourage everybody to keep a positive attitude and continue to enjoy this journey.
And now for our final segment of the day, we find out what it's like to transfer to LTU as a student athlete from another university.
My name is Kaylee Patterson, and I am a senior at LTU. I'm going to be honest, my sophomore year, I went to Central, and I got a text from the coach, and she was like, hey, do you want to come play with us? And honestly, I didn't really get to do the whole pen to paper thing. It didn't even matter because the text was just as amazing. It was just official from that moment on, and the team was super welcoming. Everyone was really goofy, so it was easy for me to adapt and feel comfortable. It's actually way better than being at a big school personally because it's more one-on-one, the teachers and the coaches, I feel like they care a lot more. There's definitely a lot of adrenaline rush, which I love. Honestly, just working and becoming a better player and seeing how much you transition is just a really good accomplishment, a good feeling. We're doing summer classes right now, and so we have clinicals there. I do not work in the hospital right now, but being there for clinicals is definitely a lot different, just based on the procedures and what we have to do compared to what we had to do last year. Lacrosse has made me become mentally stronger. I've learned obviously nothing comes easy to you, so you constantly have to push yourself harder, and I know that will definitely helped me in nursing, because seeing those ups and downs like COVID right now is very shocking, but you know, you have to take with what you get and you push through it, and I think lacrosse definitely has taught me that for sure. Being in smaller classrooms and then having my team there for me has been awesome while being at LTU, and I wouldn't change it.
Well, that's all the action we have for you on this week's edition of the LTU Sports Report. Hope you had fun with us. We'll be back next week with more interviews and highlights. And don't forget to follow along on social media at LTU Athletics for everything LTU and everything that's happening at the university. I'm Jason Raj Jr. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.